We invite you to learn about AAC and literacy through the PRC 2020 AAC Literacy Planner. The AAC Literacy Planner was designed as a tool to help educators, speech-language pathologists, and parents offer literacy activities for emergent learners using AAC. These are students who are learning how to communicate using their AAC communication systems and learning to enjoy books at the same time. Our AAC Literacy Planner incorporates best practices in literacy instruction. We've even included Common Core standards for use in the classroom. In each lesson, you will find 5 or 6 target words to model, some simple short-term objectives to help you know how to target your instruction. Also, in each section, you will see an Introduce the Story with ideas on how to read and model the target words. Please feel free to add additional vocabulary based on your students' individual needs. You'll find additional activities for sensory, craft, motor, writing, and music. You'll also find smart charts for Lampboards for Life 84 Full and Unity 84 Sequenced. You can use these when you're reading the story. If you need a different language configuration, feel free to use our free PASS software to make your own smart charts. Our story for this month is called The Mitten. It was written by Jan Brett. Our target words are come, how, mitten, over, and want. This month's bonus word is move. Make sure and model the word move during the story. Press these words on the speech generating device as you talk about the story. This gives a model for the communication learner to see how he or she can use these words too. In preparation for reading the story, I've used Vocabulary Builder, a feature within my software that lets me temporarily hide words that I don't want to show during this particular story. Or I can turn on Vocabulary Builder to introduce the target words before reading my story, and then turn Vocabulary Builder off to bring back all of my students' vocabulary so that he can use it for commenting or asking questions while reading the story. This example is shown in Unity 84 Sequenced Vocabulary.
Come. How. Mitten. Over. Want. Move.
Please pause while watching the story to interact with your communicator. We hope you enjoy this story. This story is called The Mitten. It was written by a lady named Jan Brett. I see a lot of animals. There's a fox and a bear and an owl and a rabbit. Oh, and I wonder what that is. What do you think this story will be about? Let's take a picture walk and find out. I see a boy jumping over the snow. I wonder who that lady is. Let's turn the page, see what else we can find. Oh, she's making something. I wonder if she's making a mitten. The boy's climbing up a tree. I think he dropped something. What do you think he dropped? I wonder how he dropped it. And look there. There's an animal in the mitten. Somebody wanted to come in the mitten. Let's read the story and find out what happens. The Mitten. Once there was a boy named Nicky. He wanted mittens as white as snow. He said, "I want white mittens." And he's jumping over the snow. Oh, look at that. That's a clue about what's going to be on the next page. I wonder who that is. If you drop a white mitten in the snow, it will be hard to find, his grandmother told him. But Nicky wanted snow white mittens so much that Baba made them for him. So that's his grandma. He calls her Baba. He said, I want white mittens. So she's going to make them for him. Do you think white mittens are a good idea? When she finished knitting, Nicky put on the mittens and went out to play. It wasn't long before one mitten fell off. Do you see the mitten? It's laying in the snow. It's a white mitten. It's really hard to see. I wonder how it fell off. Here's a clue about what's going to happen next. What do you think that is? A little mole found it and crawled inside. It was just the right size, so he decided to stay. I see the mitten, but it's hard to see the little animal that crawled in there. Here's the clue about what's going to happen on the next page. I see a rabbit. It looks like the rabbit wants to come into the mitten too. I wonder why he wants to come in the mitten. A rabbit came hopping by. He wiggled in next to the mole. The mole had to move over. I bet he said, I want to come in. You need to move over. And look, it looks like someone else is going to come in the mitten on the next page. I wonder if there will be enough room. A hedgehog wanted to get warm. The mole and the rabbit made room for him. They had to move over to let him in the mitten. I wonder how many animals will fit in there. Who do you think wants to come in the mitten now? The owl didn't want to be left out. So the mole, the rabbit, and the hedgehog had to move over. The little mitten was getting crowded. That mitten is getting crowded. But the owl did not want to be left out. So they had to move over to let him in. How many animals can fit in that mitten? What do you think that is peeking out from underneath that tree? A badger looked out of his house and saw the mitten. He climbed right in. Can you believe how crowded that mitten is getting? How are they all fitting in there? Who's going to come next and try to get in? They're going to have to move over to make room. Ah, I see a fox. What do you think will happen if he tries to get in the mitten? It started to snow, so a fox pushed his way in and made himself right at home. That fox is thinking, I want in. I wonder if the other animals are saying, don't come in. The mitten is too crowded. We can't move over. Look what animal wants to come in next. How will he fit in the mitten? Do you think he'll fit in there? Then a big bear sniffed at the mitten. The animals were packed in tight, but the bear didn't care. He crawled in anyway. The mitten was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. How will that bear ever fit in that mitten? That mitten has stretched so big already. I don't think there's room in the mitten for another animal, do you? I don't think they can move over anymore. There is no room for them to move over. Why would that bear even want to get in that mitten? It is way too crowded. I don't think I would want to get in that mitten. Would you want to get in there? I see another animal that thinks it wants to get in the mitten. I think we should warn it. Don't come in. How do you think those animals feel in that mitten? Then a tiny mouse squeezed in and perched herself on the big bear's nose. That mitten is so crowded, I can't believe they all fit in there. The mouse couldn't come in, so the mouse had to stay out on the bear's nose. I bet the boy is looking for his mitten. How do you think he feels? The mouse's whiskers tickled the bear's nose. Achoo! The bear sneezed. All the animals flew out of the mitten. That is so funny. The mouse made the bear sneeze and all of the animals flew out of the mitten. I wondered how they could all fit in there. I'm guessing the boy is still looking for his mitten. Maybe he'll find it now. Nicky saw his mitten sail up into the air. How do you think he felt when he saw his mitten? I bet he was really happy. I also wonder if he thought, how did my mitten get up in the air? I see the animals. They're all looking for somewhere else to go. From the window, Baba watched Nicky catch his mitten. "See, Baba," he called to her, "I have both my mittens." And Baba smiled. Nicky is really excited that he found his mitten. He looks pretty happy, doesn't he? He will never know how many animals were trying to live in his mitten. Look how stretched out and big his one mitten is. Don't you bet Baba wonders how his mitten got so stretched out? We know, don't we? The end.